Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I'm Deplorable Knitter. This is the lovely and beautiful Ann Pinkova. And
Hello.
sorry we're late. Life is crazy. Um, so here we are. Ann has the yarn winners, though. Woo woo.
I do. That the before we get into our promo for Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, our winner for the month of November is Pinecone Knits. So
Woo woo.
Pinecone Knits has won the wheat colorway, which is very pretty, very
Very
delicate,
lovely.
as I said before. And
Hmm.
this is Chicken Lady's Wyandotte base, which is the merino cashmere nylon. So very soft and very
Is
lovely.
that the one that's a little bit chunkier,
Yes.
like an Aran or something? It's a nice one.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. I love it
Yeah.
because it's really squishy.
Hmm. Yeah, that it's
So,
more of a bulky weight. But yeah,
hmm
very nice. Anyway, so congratulations to Pinecone Knits.
yes,
And if you
congratulations.
could email us, we'll get it sent out to you.
Politicallyincorrectknitters@gmail.com.
Yes.
All one big, really long word. And it feels
Yes.
awful to type it because you're like, it must be done. And it's not. Just keep typing it. Politically
Oh,
incorrect knitters.
believe me, I do it all the time. But anyways, thank you so much, everyone who entered. And we do have a giveaway for this month. So once the video is ended, you can comment and be entered. And this month we are doing Chicken Lady's Peppermint Stick, which is a self-striping yarn, which is very fancy. Lynn doesn't do that often.
Mm-mm.
And
I
it
think
is
it's
it.
hard to do.
Yeah, I
Like
think
the people
because
who specialize in it, like they've got it down to a science and that's like all they do. And it's not
no,
easy.
but I've seen pictures of people doing it, and it's like yarn, and it's like a certain amount of yarn in one jar, and then dripping to another jar, then dripping to another jar
Or
to get
or they
those
have like
stripes.
the warp boards where they like pull it out real far so that
Hmm.
they can dye like sections of I don't even know.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it is very cool, and this is a very cool set. And also, it is in two separate bundles, so you can do two at a time socks, and you don't have to worry about like where to stop in the striping for the next one. You have two balls already.
Yeah, that's always nice too. I
But
mean, not
yes.
that I knit socks, but I assume that like not having to work from like the inside and the outside or having to split it yourself is always a
Mhm.
bonus. So,
Someday the socks will get you.
well, yes, because I'm teaching a class next semester. And oh, I'm gonna turn off my camera. I got some yarn from Chicken Lady. I'm gonna get
Okay.
it.
Well, I'm going to say in the meantime that, again, our sponsor is Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. Go to chickenladyfiberarts.com and get 20% off your order with gingerbread 20 PIK. And also, she has some lovely Christmas yarns. I don't believe she has this one anymore, but she has Thicket, which is this lovely deep green, a little bit of blue in there. It's just stunning. And
Oh,
she also
oh,
has her
hold on.
poinsettia.
She has
Oh, you
Thicket,
have it.
which is this beautiful, beautiful colorway, and I love it. It's got lighter greens, it's got bluer greens. It's just, I mean, look at those colors.
It's very pretty.
Fabulous. Oh, I dropped one of my yarns when I did that because I was so excited to show
And
you guys.
she also this past year she's had her DK minis of the month, and they're all floral. The ones that she has for this month are poinsettia, so it's the lovely deep red, deep green, but she also has the one poinsettia that it's white, but it's sort of like striped green a little bit, and she has that in
Mm,
yarn, and it's stunning.
yep. So here's the code just so everybody gets it. Because the
Right.
last time we verbally were saying that, somebody was like, I didn't get what that was. So
Right.
gingerbread 20 PIK, just so you guys know what's up.
Yes, definitely. Anyways, show off your yarn.
Oh, so I did an order from Lynn. And so I got the Festivus sock set because
You win.
I'm gonna make DK socks because I am teaching a class and that's going to be one of the things. So there's that. It's Festivus and Thicket, and the Festivus. I can't wait to see how it knits up. I think it's going to be awesome.
Mm.
And
It's so
then the
pretty.
other thing, because not Anne, Lynn and I were having a conversation, kind of like in the background on her Telegram chat, because I have an idea for something that might end up in the Bare Arms issue of Blocked, which will involve this. Shield your eyes
Whoa.
because holy moly, And it's not even, oh, that's a little bit more accurate. That, like, yes,
Right.
it is called
That is
Hunter
fantastic.
Orange.
It like that
It,
is so. It almost seems like when it's. That's right. That's right, Neil. It almost seems when it's up on screen like the rest of the colors around you just look dimmer. Like it's
yes,
so vibrant.
yes. No, the reason I'm doing socks is because at co-op, my girls have pretty much aged out of my class. I've taught them a ton of stuff. I wasn't going to really teach them, the knitters, this semester. And then I decided, well, I could teach them socks. Socks is its own thing, gusset and the flaps and the 2 at a time and
Yep.
magic loop. And so I am taking one for the team so that I can teach my students more. And who knows, maybe I will enjoy it. I'm not sure. I've got some of those flexi flip DPNs
Okay.
because I don't like magic loop. I know Anne lives and dies by it, but I can't stand
That's
that.
right.
So
I was
I yeah.
watching Woldenburn's podcast. I believe that's how her thing is pronounced. Anyways, she's so sweet. But she also is a live and die by the circular needle thing. So it's the same thing too. Like here, like even if I'm just working on a random hat, there's the cord hanging out the side. And it's just like, that's just,
I love 16-inch needles. They're my favorite.
Yeah. See, you do the short ones, and I'm like, I will, even if I have a project that you can stretch all the way across my needles, I'll probably like tighten it up and do a little extra on that.
Why?
I don't know. I
mean,
look, I would much rather have all my stitches bunched up together so I can knit quickly than have the stretch and the.
But generally, when I'm making a hat, there's enough give on it that I can move them along quickly.
Right.
So, I guess it just depends on what you like. I do not like what Anne likes. DK socks go so fast. 9-inch circulars. I have 9-inch circulars. I've tried 9-inch circulars. They kind of made me crazy, which is why I decided to try the flexi flips to see if those were a little bit smoother for me. Because just the like I like small circumference, but I mean those are this big, and it's like.
I know people really enjoy flexi flips, but also with the. Again, another podcaster, because it's been all the Vlogmas stuff. Shauna Stitches, she's been doing a little Vlogmas thing, and she has these couple of pairs of socks, and she has 2 of them separately on little tiny circular needles. And again,
is she doing them at the same time on 2 tiny needles?
Yes, separately. At this, like she'll.
So like you knit a couple rounds and then you knit a couple rounds.
Right. That she's doing like an Advent thing where she'll do a stripe every day on these socks. And
that's fun.
Yeah. And the proof of concept is very nice, but I am like I'm so German. I'm so like stuck in my ways that I'm just like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just do 2 at a time. If everyone has their own methods they prefer, so that makes total sense. So if you like little tiny circulars, that's your own deal. But I'm just like, I don't get it. Why would
I'm with Intuition.
Do the thing?
Maybe maybe if I kept doing it, because it's this part of my hand, like right here. Maybe I just need to strengthen this part of my thumb,
right,
so that I can knit with those tiny ones. Because then you get all crampy, and then you're like, I have these claw hands, I can't knit anything, and it's not exactly what I'm going for.
Right. But no, and like her Vlogmas is very cool. She's been opening up Advent calendars and doing all things, but I'm just like, I don't understand, Shauna. I'm very confused. But
why? About the 2 on 1?
About the 2.
The 2 on 2?
I'm like, I don't know. I mean,
I think I would be more likely to do it like that than the way. Well, I'm also doing 2 at a time toe up with the magic loop. So we'll see. Not my favorite, but I will give it a go for my kids. So
that's right.
My students. So yep. Right. Anyway, so have you been knitting?
I have been, but I'm just like the most boring knitter to show. I should make something very exciting very quickly so I can have better internet content, because I'm still working on Neil's mittens, which are very cool, but
I have to print those. I need a note. somebody message me. I got to print the thing so I can do my mittens.
Right.
I have an idea.
Because those are due on the 15th. So
Yes.
everybody get your mittens in fast.
Yes.
But I'm sitting there. I have two very similar concepts, and yeah, it's an issue because each of them have a snag. So I'm not sure how I'm going to go forward. So I've been working on that. And then I still have the shawl that I haven't finished, but looks exactly the same. And I cast on another Nerdrotics beanie for a gift. So that
That's cool. This just made me laugh. Neil said my big man hands can't cope with 9 inches. I end up holding them like I'm drinking tea with my pinkies raised. Yeah, that's funny. Sorry. Okay. So you've got Nerdrotic. Did you
Yep.
finish your shawl yet? Did you? I'm
I have
sorry.
not.
Did you? Okay.
No, I have not. It looks the same. I have like that much left. I have that much left on my shawl.
Mhm.
But as I said before, it's at the over 500 stitches level, and I know I want to finish it. I'm going to push through. If anyone's wondering, the Puritanical Knitting Fun Run, I'm still waiting for Carrie to get back to me, and then we can announce all of the winners. So
Yep,
I haven't forgot. The stuff is all sitting next to me. It's very cool prizes.
Good.
But that will get out. Oh, if you haven't checked out our Tuesday show, that was good. Despite the loss of DK.
I actually haven't watched it yet. I've been meaning to. It's just life went kind of nutty for me. So I'm sure Anne told you guys, but my husband's birthday is this weekend, and there was a miscommunication. We were going out, I thought, next Tuesday after his birthday for his birthday, but nope, it was this past Tuesday. I had no idea. He told me. I'm like driving one of the kids home from an activity. He's like, so when you get home, we're going to dinner, right? And I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? So Anne and Carol and Neil took the wheel. Thank you. It sounds like it was a lot of fun. So
it was a lot of fun. And I don't know, it kind of cracks me up because we have, and the three of us, that we have Caro, who is new to crafting but old to comic books, and that I'm old to crafting and new to comic books, and Neil is old to crafting, old to comic books, but also doesn't necessarily follow the new creators as closely. So it's like a interesting dynamic there, I guess. But yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff, talked about England, talked about psychology. Carol lived in England for a while, so it was fun to hear her take on stuff. Yeah, so
and
that's cool.
I was gonna say I didn't hear about, I didn't watch the episode yet, but I saw some comments about The Body Keeps the Score. And that was something that somebody had recommended to me, so I'm on the wait list for it now, because if the person that recommended it was a little shady, so then if you guys were talking about it and people were saying it was good, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it, because sometimes a little scary.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get not trusting psychology books necessarily, but it sounds interesting. Also, wearing my Rippaverse shirt because Alpha Core came. Actually, I physically received it yesterday, but it actually came a couple days early because sometimes packages get delivered a weird place for me. That's not them issue. That's a me issue. But yeah, I'm very excited. It's super cool. Haven't read it yet. But yeah, Chuck Dixon, Joe Bennett. Cool. I'm excited. And
fun stuff.
Kind of the premise of Alpha Core is, so you have Isom was a superhero, now getting back to being a superhero, and you have Alpha Core, which are like the superhero police.
Okay.
But I'm very excited because there's a lot of like superhero movie premise where you have like, and here these are the super feds, and you go, not again. But I'm excited about this take. Yeah, I was watching a stream last night. Eric July was on a channel called A Drink with Crazy, and Royce is good friends with Katie of Perry Apsis Press, who, digression, her Christmas anthology of the Christmas short stories is out, so that's on Amazon. It's Periapsis Christmas. It's $10 for a paperback and like $3 for the Kindle, and it's the second one she did. So the last year's edition is the same price if you're interested.
Cool.
Anyways, so Royce's channel, Drink with Crazy, they had Eric July on, and they're discussing with him all these things because he interviews a bunch of independent authors, and they're talking about, you know, how you got started, what was really, you know, kind of the kick in your butt that made you really want to create and decide to go forward with your project, and all of these things. And Eric is enthusiastic. He's talking. He's still going. Royce talked about this one time where what was really Royce's inspiration from Eric, which was once where when he was on a live stream after the first campaign came out, and he's like looking, and he's like, I am just dog tired, and then he shakes his head, he's like, but I gotta keep going. And then it was just like a 2-second thing in that live stream, and Royce is like, yeah, that guy, he's serious. And Eric is sitting there on the interview going like, oh yeah, thanks man, you know, that's really great. And as like an hour in, Eric takes a shot of NyQuil on stream. Like he was sicker than a dog.
Oh, I was like, what's happening?
Right. And then the panel is like, dude, man, do you gotta go to bed? Like
in about 20 minutes when that kicks in, I think
so. Yeah, definitely. And he's like, no, well, I'll hang on a little bit. And they're like, buddy, you gotta go. But
yeah,
like,
funny.
You know, that the man's after success. He doesn't stop, and he shows up.
Won't stop.
I know, just incredible guy. Anyways, so yeah, Alcapor came out. The next one's coming out like this month. They are one after another. So yeah, it's exciting.
Cool. Fun stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry. That was my rant.
You're allowed to rant. This is our thing. We can kind of do what we want.
That is true.
So I knit 2 hats this week because
nice.
So in case you guys are new here, I am the queen of procrastinators. I could have something that I need to do. I could know a year in advance. Does not matter. 3 days before, I am finishing it. Or in the case of this, it was actually like a half hour before, and I actually thought the party. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Before you do, I haven't been able to catch all of Knit Night yet, but I said that I would test knit for Liz Clothier's Rosie shawl pattern, which is for the Who Done It. Sorry, front loading on promotion. Amy of Two Sisters and Some Yarn, her Who Done It knit along for January. The Google form is open for that, so you have to get in there to enter. Anyways, but again, 3 digressions. Sorry. So I said I'd test knit Liz's shawl, and on Knit Night, she's like, yep, I got it out to test knitters. And, you know, she mentioned a couple of other people who are test knitting. And she says, you know, and Anne, who will probably get distracted. And like, Liz, way to kill me on stream. And also, no, I haven't started yet. Thanks for asking. And anyways, so yes, procrastination, I get it.
Okay, so this is something that I do though. I start stories in the middle and then I backfill, and people are like, my husband gets really frustrated. He'll be like, I do not know what you are talking about. You need to start at the beginning. So I went to a Christmas party on Thursday. It was all the moms from co-op. Well, not all the moms, but it was a lot of moms from co-op. And it was a favorite things party. So what you do is you bring 2 of your favorite thing, you talk about it, you pull names out, you give them away to the people who win. It's a lovely little thing. You get to try something you maybe wouldn't have tried, whatever. Nice. As me, I have 2 favorite things that, you know, coffee and yarn. And I'm like, well, a lot of people like coffee. So I went with the yarn route. But I'm one of the only knitters in the co-op or crocheters. So I was like, so I can't just give yarn because that would be lame. So then I decided that I was going to knit hats for the ladies, which obviously makes sense. I mean, why? Yeah. So I thought the party started at 7. truly it started at 6. At 6:30, I was weaving in ends and finishing my makeup, getting ready to go. And so lucky for me, it worked out. But this is what happened. I was hoping it would be bigger. But there's 2 hats there, obviously, as you can see. And they, let's see, can I make them a little bigger? Well, I guess I can't. Okay, so that's as big as they get. And the black one, all I had to do was the crown decreases, but did I do them? No, I sure didn't. I did them Thursday morning. And then that gray hat, I knit the entire thing on Thursday because that is who I am. And so those are 2 of my finished items. And
those are awesome.
I was a little bit nervous because I asked one of my friends afterwards, I'm like, was my gift okay? You know what I mean? And she was like, yeah, no, I actually was hoping I would win one. I was like, okay, good. Like, you want to be the gift that people want to win. So that's fun.
Right.
But yeah, so those are 2 of my finished objects. I'm actually casting on another hat like the gray one for my niece. Every year, along with her gift, I like to make her a new hat, So
Is that
that's what's happening here.
Is that the everywhere hat pattern or just something that looks similar?
Well, I winged it. It was mine. And it was kind of like those CC beanies, but I didn't like the way it looked when it was totally all pearls sticking out. So it's garter instead of pearls. So it may be the everywhere hat. I didn't.
No, well,
I don't know. But yeah.
No, I think it's called everywhere hat. I know it's the everywhere cardigan, but there might be.
Yeah.
I forget, but Devin of Knitty McPurley, that she has a pattern similar to that. And it's kind of that thing of, this is a very popular pattern and you'll see it in like every store or something close to it. And that was sort of her thing in doing it. And that, I see those rib stitches and I'm like, hang on.
Well, part of the reason is because it is a popular pattern. And I'm like, so the one was cabled. And because I was doing it the day of, I'm like, I don't have time to do cables. Like, they're not that much longer, but I was like, let's be realistic. Knit and purl, ribs.
Here.
Yeah. We both
did
had
the same one at the same time. Yeah. Tara says that, yes, it is the everywhere hat. There we go.
So if I borrowed Knitting with Curly's hat, sorry, I just kind of was like,
It's okay.
And then when I thought it was long enough,
I think she borrowed it too. Like,
yeah,
it might be a free pattern. I don't know.
Yeah. But, I figured it's so popular that I might as well make that because then I figured that it would be something the ladies would like. So,
Right.
So that was my story about that.
Nice. Look at you knitting gifts on the fly.
I know, right? Well, sometimes you got to do it. And my life was upside down this week because my husband's birthday is this weekend. He took off a couple extra days and he told his dad who lives in Florida. So his dad who lives in Florida randomly decided to come up and visit. So we've been kind of a little bit nutty around here. So that's what's up. That's what I know. Although we had some delicious subs last night and he did buy us breakfast this morning. So I haven't cooked in like a day and I'm okay with that. So
Merry Christmas to all.
Well, that's what he said. This is our Christmas together. So let's, And I said that I'm not going to complain about that. Perfect.
Nice.
So that's my knitting. That's my yarn. You got any other stuff we need to look at? Talk about? I got to look into that who done that. I keep forgetting that we're participating because I said we were and then I forgot about it. So
right.
Okay.
Right. Well, I think part of the game is that with the whodunit, that there's going to be clues that Amy has written this little murder mystery, and the clues are distributed between different podcasters, and not all of the clues are good. Some of them are red herring.
Ooh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I think she says there might be some repeats, some podcasters from another, depending. But anyways, that she has her sign up, and here, one second.
And so we need to sign up if we're wanting to participate in this? Is that what's happening?
Right. Okay. From a podcaster angle, I signed up for us, but from a individual, from an individual angle,
I'm wondering if I should sign up as an individual so I have an idea of what's happening.
I signed up as an individual. because
Oh man.
I think this is a fantastic game and I want to play it. And also when she was here we go. When she was talking about the plan for doing this, and hang on, here we go. Hit the button. There's me looking down at my phone on my phone. And there's the sign up. Okay. But anyways, that when she was talking, okay, there we go. There it is. When she was talking about this, she was like, okay, if anyone wants
Oh,
to
I didn't
be,
mean to do that. Sorry.
oh yeah, if anyone wants to be in my like test knitter or not test knitter, test reading group for this for the murder mystery, you can. And I'm like, I don't want to. I want to be surprised. I want to play along at home. I want to know who the murderer is or guess who the
Yeah.
murderer is.
That's fun. I don't. Yeah, I have not. I heard about it. So she asked us if we want to participate, and like 3 weeks later, I catch up, and I'm like, oh hey, yeah, we do. And then I don't think I've looked at it since then, so I don't even really know what's happening. But it's exciting. It'll be
It is
fun.
exciting. And both Holly of Mystery Mouse Yarn and Carista of Sweet Mountain Crafts, they're doing yarns for it.
Ooh,
And
fun.
like I said, Liz is doing a pattern. I don't think you have to knit anything specific, but you get like extra points for having something murder mystery themed.
Cool.
And yeah, it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Carista has a bag, and I want to say that it's Susan from Delightful Works who did it with her kit. But yeah, anyways, check it out. It's good.
Yep.
Neil has a pattern to go along with it. It's very cool. But yeah,
Sorry, I was counting.
I've never done that before. Ever.
I was knitting something last night, and everybody kept talking to me, and then I just kept counting out loud, louder, because I'm like, excuse me.
Like, guys.
When I'm sitting here looking at my knitting, going, I'm counting. I'm doing something. Leave me alone. Anyway. So.
I believe you wanted to talk about something with
yeah, let me
unless
pull
you
that
wanted
up.
to get something first.
Let me pull that up real quick. I see if I can share it to the screen. I don't know how this works, so it's hard to say.
Your
Instagram.
technical thing.
Well, I'm not as good at this as Neil is because
Adam says Columbo in a knit along. Just one more row.
Oh, that's pretty. But not what I'm looking for. Focus on what I'm looking for. So Lion Brain Yarn posted a picture of a menorah. I think it was a menorah, like a knitted or crocheted one. I'm pulling it up here, see if I can share it with you guys. So they posted this picture. They look like they're crocheted. Let me just see. I'm gonna make it as big as I can so that if I share screen, you guys can see it. Let's see. Okay. And this is my first time trying this, so if it's wrong, sorry.
Speaking of, happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Okay, right here. Yes, happy Hanukkah to those who are celebrating. Uh-oh. Okay, so see this. Lion Brand posted this picture. Right?
Yep.
How do you feel about this? I mean, besides the fact that the Star of David is not perfectly perfect, because I know how you feel about that part of it.
I mean, it's lovely. It's a little crocheted thingy.
Their little crocheted candle holder menorah thing. Okay. I don't see why anybody would be angry about this. I mean, but all of the comments on this thing are like, not all of them. Don't get me wrong, not all of them, but a lot of the comments are like, you Zionists, like they are killing babies. And it's like, okay, so regardless of what's going on with Israel and Palestine and Gaza. There are other people that are Jewish.
Right.
This is a holiday that they celebrate. It's not like it's and I the first time I saw it was actually on Reddit in the Craft Snark thread, and the person who posted it was like, "I'm not a Zionist," and I'm like, I find it weird that you have to like put that disclaimer out there in the first place, but
Yeah.
okay, so they weren't a Zionist, but they even were like, these comments are out of control because it's insane. It is insane, and I do not understand it. So I
No,
just wanted to show that off because what?
No, well, it's particularly hard right now. I know that Williamsburg, where they have the sort of colonial reenactment, but the town of Williamsburg has not done a menorah lighting for Hanukkah because, of current tensions. And yeah, like you said, it's the same thing where it's like, this is a holiday celebrated by Jewish people around the world. And well, it shows who they're afraid of, because it's very much I don't know who does do the violent protests when it comes to Jewish holidays. That's that's
Queers
just
for
wacky.
Palestine because that's who they want. I'm sorry, but that makes me laugh every time. Like they don't want you guys. No offense, but
no,
that's the most stupid thing.
There was something I heard this past. It was like a radical imam who warned against these anti-Israeli protests. I mean, the guy was anti-Israeli. Let's make no bones about that. But he was also like saying like, you don't want to mingle too much in this crowd because there might be. Sorry, the line was, someone who takes it in the rear at night. And I'm just like, what? Just said that?
Yeah. I mean, they're telling you how they feel about a lot of stuff. Like, so,
Yeah, the radical Islamists really not a fan of the Antifa gays. They're just doesn't really work out.
I don't know if they've deleted them since then because Instagram on the computer, they don't want you doing it on the computer, so I can't see comments right now. But they're like, there were tons of them that were like, shame on you for sharing this. Shame on you for sharing something that celebrates a holiday. So like what? Are we not allowed to put out Easter bunnies or Christmas trees or Santas or I mean, I know we're not allowed to put out Jesus, but that's different. Because we're Christians, so obviously.
There we go. I put up it's a little Christmas display candle advent thingy. I had to move.
You showed it to me.
Yeah, I had to move Daredevil around so I could put up the baby Jesus, which probably doesn't reflect well on me, but it's there.
Yep. But it just the whole thing just kills me. Like all these people, shame on you, shame on you.
That no one stops the Diwali celebrations.
But they're posting things like, oh, you're supporting the child murderers and stuff. I'm pretty sure that the other people are the ones who snuck into Israel and like randomly killed people in their houses. But I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm not though.
Well, or there's outrage right now. So Israel's kicking butt and taking names, and yeah, good for them. But there's this picture where they have all of these Hamas terrorists, and they are stripped down to their undies, and they're with their arms tied behind their back, sitting there, and there's like over 100 of them, and the Israeli troops are going around, and it's like, oh, this is so awful. This is this or that. It's like these are literally terrorists, and Israel has captured and is in some respect shaming them. Are they murdering them wholesale now that they're sitting there in ranks? No, they're captured prisoners. But this is still no, we are capturing you and you're done. You're done. You're ashamed. We're over with. Yeah. But
yeah, Tara's saying, Easter Bunny and Santa aren't symbols. And I understand that, but I'm just saying that like it's just nonsense. It's a holiday thing. It's something that they're
And
angry about because it's Jewish, and so they're assuming that it's Israeli Jewish when it's not. People all over the world are Jewish. Get over it.
right.
Like,
But
knock it off.
also, it's sort of, I don't know, from my point of view, it's like, not, is that a bad thing? Is it bad that Israel should be a thing? I'm, let's just like, hi, I'm over here, at Club Zion with the dance version of the Hitikva, doing shots of Mogan David. Like, I am pro-Zionist. I am team. And I know it's always the qualification of, yeah, but everything. Yeah. But I am team Israel, as I would be team Britain, as I would be team New Zealand, even with different issues that they may have in their government. Okay. I would not undercut them as an ally. That is just,
Yeah, I get it.
Just as I am very definitely Team America. We pull some crap too. That's just.
Oh yeah, everybody does though. So whatever.
Yep.
And you can't cancel Father Christmas because that's the same as canceling Neil, which is true.
That is true. And this is a pro Neil James channel. We would like to have our statement in support for him going into this Christmas season.
Oh, fantastic. So anyway,
right.
I just thought that it was ridiculous that people were like, oh my God, shame on you for sharing a menorah. Mm-hmm. Because really?
Right.
Really? And the problem, I'm not saying that there's not issues in the war on both sides. Because there are. There always are, because people are people.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, I would say proportionately the issues are, it's a very steep scale from one side to the other. But yes.
But taking a menorah and saying that because Israel is predominantly Jewish, therefore, like, that's just the most asinine thing I've ever heard. I'm just sorry. So anyway.
Yep.
My yarn is tickling my nose. What color squares are we posting? I don't know. Are they, should we, yeah, I don't know. We'll figure something out. And I like this exactly. Thank you, Tara. Let them celebrate their religious holidays. Right. Yeah, I'm not mad when people fast for Ramadan or whatever. Like, that's what they do. Mm-hmm. But it's not mine to have an opinion on. So.
Anyways, we'll wait for the next big cancel campaign of Neil, and we'll get a square together. But just so you know, Neil, we're pulling for you.
So anyway.
Oh, and check out the latest issue of Black magazine. That just came out. So.
Yeah, it just came out. Still haven't read that one either. I haven't watched my own show from Tuesday. Haven't read Blacked. I am fired. Can I be fired? I need a break.
Only if you get to be rehired in the next 2 seconds. I can't run the show alone.
Can I be fired for like 2 weeks and I'll build the website instead?
Hey.
Maybe we'll talk about that. There's just not enough time. I know everybody feels that way this time of year though. Like everything is just out of control. Like, not in a bad way. I'm having so much fun with my kids and the stuff we're doing, but also
definitely. No time. No, I was again, to mention Devin of Knitting McPurley. She's not doing her Lent calendar this next year. And I'm like, girl, that's I mean, I love her Lent calendar. Her Lent calendar is fantastic. But I'm, just like the amount of work that goes into each one of those, like all of the mini skeins and all of the colors, and she writes her own pattern, and then it has to go to test knitters. I'm like, oh yeah. Like, if she's
someone who's doing that this year, I had no idea how much work was involved in the whole thing. Holy moly.
Yeah. And I'm just like, wow. I mean, she said that at end of November, I think, that she wasn't doing it. I'm like, yeah, if she's not done now, like Lent starts on Valentine's Day. I'm like, okay.
It's early this year, isn't it?
It is. So I'm like, okay, so if, she sells them a month in advance, that's January 14th. That's wow. Even if she only does a couple weeks in advance, still. And then, but then she'd have to, depending on how many she already did, she would either have to package them beforehand or package them afterwards. And then, like I said, test knitters time. And there's all of December, which is busy for everyone. I'm like, whew, I get it. I get it, girl.
Yeah. It is too bad though, because I have always enjoyed watching you knit her net lint thing.
Well,
I've
she's
never
only,
actually participated, but
yeah. I mean, she's only done it twice,
I
and
know, but it's still.
I only did the second one. Tara's got both of them.
Oh,
Tara's a winner.
okay. I
But
thought you did the first one too. Maybe we just talked about it the first time around.
yeah. No,
That could be what it was.
I was yeah, I was too late for the first one because they sell out in an instant. So
Hmm.
the second one, Devon's Catholic, so she, mass is early morning for her. So she's like, "Oh, okay, it's out at, 11 or something." I'm like, "Sorry, that's when I'm getting out of church." So I was sitting there, the service had ended, but I was sitting there on my phone going, "Bye, bye, 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 bye." Okay, got it. And, like, I feel bad, but
Yeah, Tara says I did both, and while I understand, I'm sad. Well, maybe she'll
yeah.
do it again. I mean, if she
I
gets
mean, it's
enough
very
feedback that
popular.
people really enjoyed it and stuff,
Mhm.
it might work out. But man, putting that stuff together is no joke. No
Yeah,
joke.
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and she always puts out a good product.
For
Like,
sure.
she's very fastidious that way.
I'm using an Advent scent for Lent next year. That's a good
Mhm.
idea. I
It
mean,
is.
if you've got them, that's nice.
No, and
Enjoyable.
that was one of the things too, that it's like, it's always, I mean, it's always good to have the sort of meditation in coming up to Easter, but
Hmm.
also that there's so many Advents for Christmas, and they're great. They're a great time. I mean, we have the set from Lynn, and it's wonderful, but Christmas season is so busy for so many things and gifting and stuff, and it's fun to have these little gifts to open for yourself throughout this time. But
Hmm.
but the Lent season is not so focused on that, so there's kind of more time to appreciate it, I guess, is the thing.
Hmm.
But
I concur. Because yeah, this time of year, even though like you're super excited about your Advent, like sometimes it's almost like, oh my gosh, I forgot my Advent. Like I've been
mhm.
doing 700 other things. So yeah, I get it for real. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly what Tara's saying. She can't knit in December because it's too busy. And yeah, I'm too busy. And I don't make big things for people, as we all know. I make mostly hats, but
mhm.
like, I'm like, I need to make a hat for my husband. My husband wears this tatty black beanie when he's outside. And I'm like, even if I make him an acrylic beanie, it'll be nicer than that thing. I need to
Mhm.
make him a hat. Like, and that's what happens throughout the season. I'm like, there's someone who watches that is probably going to get a pair of mittens if I can get my act together. Doesn't mean I will, but I'm going to try.
Hey.
So, like, we'll see.
Mhm.
But that's how it is. I'm constantly like, oh, I can make this little thing or that little thing, and then I run out of time. So,
Yeah.
oh well, what you can do?
I don't know, man. Well, like I said, I'm knitting another Nerdrotic beanie because I want one. This one is a gift though.
Hmm.
But it's like, of of my nerdy friends and family members. I mean, it's a good logo. It's
It
fun.
is.
I
It
like
is
it.
fun.
Um,
Yep.
but yeah, it's always so funny. I said before in going up to the Christmas season, as someone who knits, and you're like, "Yeah, I'll pull out my winter hats." I'm like, "I don't really like these. I should knit myself a hat."
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
of all the things to do. Oh, I here, one second. I
No.
actually brought what? Okay, fine. Gosh.
You said here 1 second. I said no.
Okay, I'll leave. Man.
No, don't do that. I hate being alone on here.
No, I know, me too. No, but I said I had the Hunter's orange Sherlock wallpaper hat
I
that
like it.
never sold. Yeah.
I
So
like it a
yeah,
lot.
it was nice, but I still have it because
Nobody else
no
wanted it.
no nobody thought it was as funny as me. It's crazy. Um,
I don't get the joke, but I like the pattern. I think it's cute.
okay. You want it? Not so
I don't
much.
know. I wear a camouflage coat most winters, so I don't know how that'll go. It's a lot of patterns.
A lot of patterns.
We'll see.
I know.
Someone needs to do a midsummer subscription event rather than a midwinter. Yeah, but I mean, in Texas, I guess it's always hot, so you don't necessarily have the problem. But I don't knit. nearly as much in the summer just because I'm hot. I don't want things touching me. My
Need the
kids
12
touching
days
me,
of
people
freedom
looking
month.
at me. Yeah. So,
But,
any news we got to talk about before we,
um, well,
move along with our life?
that's true. That's true. I mean, there's some things coming out. There's for example, we have the GOP debates. Woohoo.
Haven't seen any of those. Don't care.
Yeah, I don't. DeSantis is now in third, which is,
Behind who? Who's second?
Nikki Haley. Of
What?
all the battle axes, yeah.
She's trash.
I know.
Sorry.
Dave
I
Landau
feel
had
like
this
her.
thing of
Sorry.
Nikki Haley, who looks like an actress whose career is about to not pan out, and or the mom who wouldn't let you watch Simpsons. Like that. Yeah,
Okay.
she's really gonna pull that one out. And yeah, it's all ridiculous. And
How much does she have? Like 10%?
it's not much. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, like, okay, like, who is even wanting her? Really? She talks and I want to punch her.
Yeah. And
Okay, sorry.
even, no, totally. And even when she talks and you're like, okay, I mean, that sounds somewhat reasonable. And then she goes into, and we have so many government programs that we're going to do to achieve that. And you're like, no, Nikki.
Ooh,
No.
speaking of government programs, you know what I just heard? And I've only heard it once and it was an unverified something, but I heard that they're getting rid of WIC.
Really?
The women, infant, and children thing where you get like milk and formula and stuff for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard that they're not funding it anymore. And I don't know. Just makes me wonder, like, is it because there's a lot of other people that they're giving those resources to who maybe aren't women and infant and children's
Yeah.
from our country? I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm
Or
curious.
if they're trying to consolidate it into another program.
I don't know. What
It's
I
sort of
heard said it was going away, but I
right.
don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where sometimes things are intentionally bad so they can come in like a ton of bricks with next thing.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad though. Like it's not like food stamps. Like there's really only certain things you can buy with it and it's like mostly for the health of your children, which
right.
I'm
It's
not
much
huge
more.
into government things, but also
No, WIC is more of
yeah.
a focused program. You can only buy
Yeah.
some things, and it's specifically for this to help with this need.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean,
It's
as far
just
as
interesting.
programs go, no, I like it. I like it as a small scope, and you get off it,
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's
So,
good.
interesting. I didn't hear
And
enough about it though to like be totally like telling you what's happening. I just
right.
heard that rumor and I'm like, "Huh, I wonder what's going on."
Mm-hmm.
So,
But yeah.
anyway, what have you got? I will stop talking.
No, it's okay.
Nick.
Something else that's been in the news a little bit lately. PlayStation. This is like a week old story, but still, it's important if you haven't heard it.
I
But
haven't.
that PlayStation. Now that how okay, when you own digital media, it's often by kind of weird things, and a lot of people use their PlayStation or their Xbox as you would like a Roku or an
Mhm.
or like you can attach apps to it and
Right?
rent things through these programs. Anyways, that PlayStation now has a thing where, oh, by the way, if you bought any of these programs, the licenses, there's been a little fudge there, so you don't own them anymore. They're deleted.
Wow.
And that is
That's
anything
interesting.
from, that is like anything from TLC programs to movies to whatever. There's no compensation. There's no like, hey guys, you know how we said you bought it? Well, you didn't. It's gone.
Yeah. Here's your money back since you didn't actually buy it.
Oh,
What?
sans the
Yeah,
money
no.
back. That's not happening. Yeah.
Well, I know. I'm just saying like that would make sense to an extent. I don't know.
Right. I
Um,
can't even imagine the payout of that though,
mhm.
because
I don't know.
I mean, I I'm a big proponent of physical media, but when in the golden days when Marvel movies were good or at least decent, that I would always do the thing where they had the, buy the DVD and the digital copy, and I would redeem that through Amazon. So long as Amazon doesn't crash and burn. I mean, but if I had redeemed it through another system and that was gone, then poof,
Yeah.
that's into
Well,
the ether.
people think my husband, last 2 years ago, I found the entire box set of Gilmore Girls
Mm-hmm.
on DVD. And I said, I would like this for Christmas. And he's like, why? It's streaming on Netflix. I'm like, that doesn't mean it'll be there. We don't have Netflix anymore either. I'm like,
Right.
I enjoy this. I want to have it. I want physical because who knows what's going to happen to stuff. Like it could just poof and then what? Right?
Right. And and then how many people pay for a Netflix subscription and only watch The Office and like Friends or Seinfeld or stuff? It's like, really, you could just get the DVDs and save yourself the monthly subscription. But the thing,
But DVDs aren't as convenient or easy. You have
yeah,
to put them
you have to get
in.
up
You have to
off the
find the
couch.
thing.
You
Yeah.
gotta,
Yeah.
flip, flip,
Just
flip,
saying.
flip. It's just, they could get scratched, but even so, it's like your thing can disappear. Here's the thing that I really fear, though, with this. Okay, so people are saying perhaps there really should be some sort of legislation, or at least a false advertising thing, saying that, hey, you said I bought this, I didn't actually buy this, because it's gone now. And I don't know, perhaps we'll find in the fine print that there is something, like a time limit on your digital purchases, which will really tick people off.
Yeah.
And also it's kind of like don't trust the cloud. The cloud really is, when you stand on it, is nothing. But it reminds me, and like I said, I worry about this. I'm worried that there will be a redefinition of ownership when it comes to things like DVDs and movies and stuff, because like before, in the olden days without the internet, if you are the Beatles and you're selling your stuff, that the only way to get it to the audience is by selling a physical copy, which they then own. That you sell a record, here it is. It's also on the radio, but and as that goes on, you can, starting by tapes that you can record and stuff that people can kind of make their own copies. But it's different. It's its own thing. Now we live in a world where everything is connected online. And my fear is that we'll kind of get to goblin property rights, in J.K. Rowling, when she writes it in Harry Potter, that one of the conflicts between goblins and wizards is that goblins kind of believe that when they have like a goblin made item and they sell it to someone, that is kind of a rental period where it should be returned after that person's death. And wizards will, and human beings in general, that the sort of property rights thing is, oh, I bought this sword from a goblin. That's fantastic. When I die, it goes to my kid. And the goblin says, no, it's proper ownership is the maker. And that if we have that creates a huge difficulty where let's say you have a movie and you put it out and you say, oh, but it's only for streaming because the property ship line may become that it's always in my hand, you can only rent it. But that also means that they can change it, or whoever owns the copyrights or the film rights and stuff. It's always going to be in their hand forever. And it becomes a problem. You have this rental thing, yes, but also it's the money will exchange hands, but goods will never truly leave the hand of the person that you sell it from. Even if
here you go. Tara said it. You will own nothing and be happy and pay monthly subscriptions.
Right.
Ta-da!
Right, exactly. But No, but think, and again, this is just me going off into whoever, but think of the mental switch that would come from the, but you, the consumer, don't own it, and you shouldn't have your own copy. It should always be in my hand forever because I created it.
Mhm.
That would be an awful, awful thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Tara says that big finance are also buying single family homes like crazy. Yes. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and should the switch ever come from, well, if it should ever switch from big finance to the government itself, I know that in Canada they're doing government run grocery stores and things, which that's going to suck. Um,
Terrifying.
yeah,
Thank
if
you.
okay, if you think your landlord is a jerk and jacks up prices and fines you for no reason, oh, wait until it's Big Daddy government. Or again, big finance who or big corporate or entities that are run just as poorly, just as cruelly um as that.
Yeah. I wanted to point out this other comment real quick.
Mhm.
If you use cloud-based photo storage, most have in their fine print that you give them permission to access and use their photos. Like, yeah, all this stuff is super great, convenient, wonderful, but you gotta like know what's up. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
if we know nothing. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
the
No,
comments are
and
coming fast now. I'm sorry, I can't keep up. Ah!
no, it's completely true. And Neil says about they'll bring in, it's entirely possible to have conditional renting because after all, I mean I know of places where um like it'll be one um place that will own all of the rentals in a town, and
Mhm.
then they'll have a clause that you can't rent from us if you have like a felony conviction or something. um like, and then you're like, okay, well that's, well, it's their right to rent to who they like. It's like, yeah, unless you're a guy who's had a felony conviction and you can't rent anything in town, that
Right.
becomes difficult. And it's different stuff like that where that they can kind of set up a chain event to boot someone. And again, it makes sense that if, on one hand you get it, on the other hand it makes it really difficult for people and stuff. But
So you,
also if you're
oh, sorry.
no, I was about to say that you also have the issue of trumped up charges. You also have the issue of I don't like you ideology. Neil said um, back on Tuesday that they were talking about that there was this group of misogynistic firefighters who were fired for that, but also they were trying to get them banned from ever having a job again, which
Hmm.
if you don't have a livelihood, then you can't eat. It is and then it's like, okay, well, are you going to have them be on the dole forever? That's not right. But also you're going to keep them from livelihood. It's like, instead of just the death penalty, we'll just starve you out. It's the leverage over people. And okay, maybe these people were real jerks, but also are you saying that you're not saying that people with an actual criminal history are not allowed to work, which I think people with an actual criminal history, like, you kind of everybody needs to work, but also, you need
Right.
that going forward. But on the other hand, you're saying that, okay, what does it mean by being misogynistic? And was it actual crime? Was it a thought crime? Was it, again, maybe they were a real jerk and deserved to be fired, but you got to be able to live your life, even if you're an awful human being.
Hmm. Interesting. I was just gonna say back about the rental thing where they like won't rent to certain people. It must be a lot different in South Dakota because I have a friend who owns a rental here. The people stopped paying months ago and he cannot
Mm,
kick them out.
mm.
And they like it was a lease between him and one person and she brought in her boyfriend and then they brought an animal and then they started doing like other stuff. He can't do anything about it. at all. They're just living there free now.
Mhm.
So I want to come to South Dakota if I ever have to rent, I guess, because at least there's some. Well, no, I guess I'll stay here if I ever have to rent because then I can do whatever the hell I want to. But
Exactly.
guess if I ever want to
Well,
own houses, I better go there.
okay, yeah, having rights as the property owner is much better than having the state take those rights and then having rules for thee and not for me. I mean, definitely. But yeah, that's
Anyway.
yeah, I have it's like I have thought before of moving to to other places. Like, you know what, there, maybe I should, pick up and try something new. But I'm like, everywhere is less free than the place where I'm currently sitting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if you're all big brash and yay Texas, yay Florida, I'm like, yeah, not to disrespect y'all, but also the amount of I'm just left alone is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not just we have different regulations, or like there's a whole slew of things that we don't have regulations at all. I am still shocked and abashed and in awe that there are states out there that regularly check your vehicle for roadworthiness. What's that crap?
Oh, ours does. Always
Yeah.
has. And now they've got all the emissions and stuff.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Fantastic.
We
had to get rid of a vehicle because there was a sensor we could not find that would not pass the emissions.
Wow.
We had to get rid of the vehicle because we could not drive it.
Wow,
Like,
that
what?
sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyways.
Adam says that we could have a field trip and you could give us a guided tour of Mount Rushmore and other tourist hotspots. Mount Rushmore is like a day's drive away from Ann. That's how big South Dakota is. So
Yeah.
it's huge.
Like many other things, and closer to me is the Corn Palace, though. We could really there's not much in
The
Corn
Corn
Palace.
Palace.
Yeah.
That sounds like a tourist hotspot for sure. I mean,
oh, it is.
I'm all in.
It's there. It's good. It's nice. And again, no, it's boring here. We only have things like the Corn Palace and Wall Drug, and winter is coming, and it will kill you.
I was talking about you last night because my father-in-law was telling. Did I mention? I think I did mention that he was in town. But he was telling a story about how it was -24, and they were driving somewhere, and it was so cold out that something couldn't heat up, so the heat wouldn't work. And by the time they got almost to where they were going, it finally worked, and then they were in there, and then they came out, and the whole ride home was freezing because. And I'm like, yeah, I think that happens to Ann. They plug in their cars. I don't know why, but they plug them in so that they drive. And
right.
My husband knew why. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what that does, but cool.
Oh, negative. Okay, we've had a very, very mild winter so far. But like it's been crazy. It's the 9th of December and we're not like in 3 feet of snow. Incredible. It's rocking.
Yeah. It's in the 50s here. And normally it's much colder here.
Right.
But before you continue on, Adam says, is it amazing there, Ann, at the Corn Palace?
Amazing.
So anyway, sorry.
At night in South Dakota in winter with snow on the ground, -20 is normal.
That's horrifyingly awful.
That's just it can be warmer, but that's standard.
Yeah.
Especially for January.
I had a college roommate from Canada who asked her to plug in her car, and I looked there like she had two heads. Yes, that's how Anne mentioned it to me in a very offhanded way one time, and I still remember her saying it because I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I get winter here. We get winter, but it doesn't ever get it does get that cold, but not for a long period of time. Like that's odd. It's very, very weird for us. How a cold state switching to electric only vehicles going to work? They're not, and nothing will happen. And
yeah, just about as well as diesel. Yeah, that'll.
Diesel doesn't work in cold states either.
No, you can
I
have
didn't know that.
special. Yeah, you can have special additives added to the diesel so it doesn't gel. But yeah, it's not happy.
Interesting.
It doesn't like it.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Russia in winter. That's what it is here. Russia in winter.
That's horrifying. All vehicles in New Zealand need a warrant of fitness annually. So yeah, that's what we do here. We have to have a New York State inspection every year to prove that our car is roadworthy. So I assume it's very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And somehow,
all of these
somehow,
socialist places.
we managed to live without it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys are polluting all of the pollutants into the atmosphere because you don't have your emission safety checks.
Oh, us in the buffalo.
Yes, methane gas.
Yeah,
Your bad
all of
cars
our
and your methane
cows.
gas.
Yeah. Yeah, Tara says John Deere tries to convince farmers to switch to electric farming equipment that has to run 24/7 during the harvest season.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Not gonna happen. Good try though.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. It's like, why? How? What's the point?
Mm-hmm. I concur.
Like, they sit in the shed most of the year anyways. It's okay.
Yeah. Yep. Man. I don't know.
Anyways.
I don't know the answers to much. What I do know is that this hat is really coming along quite quickly. Because I think that this yarn is actually, I didn't realize this is jumbo yarn, and the other one I used was just regular bulky. But look at, I've already got this much hat done. Yay!
Yay, hat!
And my niece's favorite color is green. So I figured this was not totally drab. I could not find what I wanted for her.
Kind of festive,
So.
though.
I think it's cute. I think she'll like it. We'll see. If she doesn't, they won't tell me and she won't wear it and I won't know. So it doesn't matter, I guess. So anyway.
Anyways, we are past the hour mark.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, woohoo. Remember to check out Lynn, chickenladyfiberarts.com. Gingerbread 20 PIK for 20% off your order.
Gingerbread 20 PIK. Comment on the video to get entered to win the stripy yarn that Anne has right there, as you can see.
Hang on. Sorry.
Oh,
Adam wins.
I don't get it.
Like Vin Diesel with Fast and Furious.
Oh.
It's all about family.
Oh, good gracious. Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
So, yarn.
Show the yarn. Okay. This is the yarn for our giveaway. The lovely peppermint stick, which comment below once we are done.
Where your comments stay forever.
Yes.
That's how we find you later.
Exactly. Yes. So that's the giveaway yarn. Check out Lynn. Lynn does beautiful, beautiful yarns such as this Isom colorway and her other, I think these are one of a kinds, but there we go.
Oh my God. Dude, hold those one of a kinds up again. Are those yours or those giveaways?
Oh no, these are mine.
Oh, I like them. Okay, anyway. So Festivus, you can get this unless it's sold out because it was, but maybe I think she said she was doing more.
Okay.
So Festivus.
I got cart jacked, man. It was tragic.
Well, it's not her fault that you were slow.
I know.
Although what I did was I asked her to make this one and then she just put this on my invoice, so I didn't even have to do it.
Heck
She just gave it to me.
You didn't have to fight someone in the aisle for the last.
I want to clarify, she didn't give it to me. She just put it on my invoice and I paid her for it.
You didn't have to fist fight grandma for an Action Man. You got
Correct. Nobody was getting trampled for a Cabbage Patch doll or a thing of Festivus. So yeah, she has fabulous yarns. And when I get them in it, I'm totally well, this is just going to be straight up socks. I think vanilla socks. Because I think they're written for DK and I need to know how to do it. Yeah, and this is a design that I'm going to try to do. And look at it. Woo!
I'm blind. Also, Pinecone Knits. Message us. We'll send you a yarn and some other little goodies with those.
Fun stuff, guys. So Anyway,
Okay.
sorry, got distracted by the comments again. I can't help it. Thanks for coming and joining us. And sorry it was last minute. Ann and I were a little bit up in the air, but it worked out. So it's all very good.
Festivus is upon us. We got a lot of things to do.
Yep. All right. So we will catch you soon. Have a good week. We'll see you later. Bye.
See you then.